So I've wanted to do a video like this for a while. I think the main reason is because our education system really fails us and kids are not educated. We're not educated on finance, personal finance at all. I was lucky enough to be able to retire by the age of 41, and it's because of investing well, saving well, and luck, of course. I've had a lot of chances, I've had opportunities that some people may not have had. So step one, I've made a list of like 8 things. Part one of it is first, never ever take loans and pay interest and take finance unless you are buying an asset. So don't buy a car on finance. Don't take a loan to buy anything on a credit card and pay the interest. Stay away from finance unless you're buying an asset. That means something like a property that is going to give you a return on investment, or if you were able to get amazingly low rates of interest finance, maybe 1 or 2% or 3%, you could possibly risk some of that by buying stocks and shares in something like the S&P 500, which has over a long term produced annual returns of around about 10 and 11%. So you're taking a loan at 2 or 3% or even 5% and buying assets which are giving you a higher return than what you've taken the loan at. So that's lesson number one. Very, very, very important. Don't ever take a payday loan. It doesn't matter if it's Christmas. It doesn't matter if you need to go on a holiday because you haven't been for so long. It doesn't matter if you need a nice new car and you don't want to drive a banger. Just save up and buy what you can with the money you have. Buy secondhand stuff if you have to, but you really can't be buying things that you can't afford just because banks have given you the ability to take finance. They want you to take loans. They want you in debt. I'd go so far as saying, don't even buy a mobile phone on a contract where you're paying £30 a month, £50 a month for a £1,500 phone, which you otherwise wouldn't have purchased. Every time you buy something that is expensive as a one-off, but you've decided to buy, over the long term, over an 18-month contract, every time you do that, what you're doing is you're denying yourself the ability to save money. So stay away from that. That's lesson one. Okay. Lesson two, and this is really, really important for young people who are going out into the jobs market and going to be earning more and more money as time goes along. Don't increase your expenses when your income increases. So try to avoid buying more expensive stuff as your income increases. Instead, use the extra money that you're making to buy assets or to put aside for savings. I know it's like drawing up a bit of a fine balance between the two, because you do want to enjoy yourself and you do want to live in a nicer house or have a nicer car. I understand that, but try not to do that until you feel financially confident and able to live in a better area or in a bigger house. So if you can manage, struggle a little bit, sacrifice a little bit for a little bit longer. Number three, only buy what you need and not what you want. Should be simple enough. So you're buying stuff, you really want that latest iPhone, or you want to buy the GoPro 11 Plus, whatever it is, or the next latest item. Maybe don't buy the GoPro 11, buy the GoPro 9. They do a similar job. Don't buy the iPhone, whatever it is, the latest one. I don't even know what it is because I don't buy iPhones. Buy the one that's, a couple of generations older and half the price if you have to. So don't buy necessarily what you want all the time. Buy what you can do with and what you need rather than what you want. Number four, educate yourself on finance. We're actually really lucky now because there are so many resources out there for finance, and there are some excellent YouTubers out there, miles better than me, who can give you so much information on finance. So educate yourself on finance. Take out a little bit of time and you'll save yourself hundreds of thousands of pounds. Honestly, if you took out the same time it takes to learn to drive, which is about 20 hours or 30 hours of time in all, on finance, if you took out the same amount of time to learn stuff on personal finance, it will make a massive difference to your life. So educate yourself on finance. 5, buy a house if you can, buy property if you can. So don't wait to buy then wait. So it's something that I tell everyone, because home ownership is a big thing. And rather than you paying, you've got to live somewhere. So rather than you paying rent, buy a house and invest in that house, upgrade the house. There's no capital gains tax to pay when you bought the house, upgraded it and sell it. There's no capital gains tax to pay. So buy a house as soon as you can, and don't wait to buy. Don't think, oh, the prices are going to come down and then I'm going to buy, or, I've got to save up more money for a deposit. Just try and save up a reasonable amount and buy a property. If you can't afford one in the area you live, like in London, for example, then buy a little bit further out. If you live in London, then buy somewhere in Luton, or buy somewhere even further out. Buy in Milton Keynes or buy in Birmingham. Put it on rent, and after a few years, when the value's gone up, when you've made a good return there, you could always sell up and then buy your own home where you want to live. Number 6, set targets for yourself. So you should have a 5-year goal, a 5-year plan. Where do you want to be? Where do you see yourself financially in 5 years from now? And then work hard to get there, or get there even earlier if you can. I would say, if you can, buy a house, buy a property every 5 years. If you want to be in the property business, buy a property every 5 years. It could be commercial property, it could be residential. But if you set yourself a goal and targets, then you'll be able to work towards them, rather than just saying, oh yeah, one day I'm going to buy a house. It may never happen, and you might now be in your 30s or 40s and still not on the property ladder. So set yourself a goal and really work hard towards that goal. Number 7, manage your money. So that means save and keep a record of all your income and all your expenses. Manage your money so you know what you're spending, what you're buying, what you sell, what your income is and what you're buying, and see where you can maybe save a little bit more or do without. Maybe you're spending too much on going out. Maybe you're spending too much on holidays. It doesn't have to be a 5-star posh holiday. Maybe you can do with a 3-star this year. So manage your money well and keep a record of your net worth. That's another thing I would suggest to people. So you can see what is the total amount of worth that you have, your net worth, from all your property minus your expenses and the amounts that you owe, and see where you're moving towards. Each year your net worth should be growing. So you're going to have a pension pot. You've got to know how much is in your pension, things like that. So you know what your net worth is, and you want to build that up so that by the time you're ready to retire, you've got like £1 million in the pot. And number 8 is change your mindset if you can. It's not all about living extravagantly and spending money and buying fancy expensive cars. I don't have expensive fancy cars. I have spent and splashed out occasionally when I've made money, but most of the time I live quite a basic, humble kind of a life. I went camping last week and spent 2 nights in a tent. And I don't fly business class. But I have time. I'm wealthy in terms of time. So change your mindset. Be wealthy in time. Be wealthy in terms of your health, rather than just worried about having more and more money. So yeah, those are my 8 tips. I hope that helped, and good luck on your journey.